Alright, hello and welcome back to Let's Play yet another no-name MAME game. Today's no-name MAME game is, of course, Tetris Plus, invented by Alexei Patnijnov.
Tetris!
That's right, this is just Tetris, not Tetris Plus. Or not Tetris PL Us. Maybe that stands for Play Us. So we've got a verse mode, which I'm assuming, like all Tetris verses, is just you versus a person. Like, is there a timer? Okay. It's you versus another person. You try to compete speed-wise. It's not even worth challenging. Let's see. We got regular Tetris, which, quite frankly, it's boring. Everyone and their mother has played Tetris. In fact, some people and their grandmothers have played Tetris. So let's go to the regular challenge mode. And you know what? Oh, well. Alright, I consider myself a standard Tetris. Interesting. Compare and contrast the character. Well, her face looks like a cat right now. Always enjoy that little anime tick. But compare and contrast the characters right now to those in Columns 3. And I think this game was like 95 or something. Columns 3, mid-90s-ish. Kind of interesting. I mean, for the uninitiated, Columns 3 had a sort of pyramidal theme, or like kind of exploring Egypt sort of theme. So tempting, and yet I know better than that. Oh, nice! I mean, it seems a little weird to compliment. Oh, they're just gonna keep on hanging around. Oh no, that's cool too. All right, enjoy that. But it seems a little bit weird to be complimenting the animation in a Tetris game, but that animation that plays when you clear a line is honestly really cool. In fact, it makes me want to just clear a ton more lines just to get that effect again. So I'm not entirely sure what I'm supposed to be doing. I guess I just have to clear the bottommost stage. Bottommost line. I thought you had to clear all of the lines. Which, oh, it's gonna be easy. Tetris Pro right here. Yes, good. I thought for a second there I'd have a little bit of egg on my face. Also, interestingly of note, the second screen, which it's all one screen, but like the second half, it's like constantly going all the time. I mean, you'd think that would get annoying. Well, that's harder than I thought. But you'd think that would get annoying after a while. In fact, it's already kind of annoying. Oh, interesting. The little guy is just kind of wandering around. Oh, you can't affect him at all. I remember there being some sort of puzzle game where, like, your guy walks around and, like, actually distributes bombs or something. Might have been on the one of two episodes I actually saw of Retro Game Center CX. Unfortunately, this is looking more and more like a loss. Oh, is line clear mode, you only have to clear a certain number of lines? If so, I would appreciate that, but no. Tetris takes a surprising amount of concentration. You might not be appreciating that fact right now, but I certainly am. Did you just say off with his head? It doesn't really help that I'm not a truly practiced Tetris player, and I'm quite aware that my style is not exactly optimal, but I'm playing the game. This isn't gonna end out very well. Okay, so it dies when the guy touches the spike thing, which more or less as you'd expect. And I'm sure the Tetris mode. That is ridiculous, though. It's like the second player's screen. Like, not only can they play their own separate game or whatever, they can also, like, verse, and they can also whatever. It's crazy. It's like having two little Tetris machines right next to each other, or not. And, I mean, I've always felt that, like, versus in Tetris was always kind of a weird concept. Like, for the most part, Tetris seems to, like, kind of exist in a vacuum, where it's like you play it as a single-player game, and if you're playing, like, multiplayer with someone, you're basically just trying to get the highest score anyway, so it would make sense to be playing it, like, right next to somebody. Even though you two are, like, playing at the same time, you're playing your own separate games. It makes sense to me. Otherwise, I mean, it does seem to be a fairly cool version of Tetris, but at the same time, I mean, it's Tetris. Everyone and their fathers played Tetris. In fact, some grandfathers have played Tetris. So I don't really see any more point to playing in. Let's see if we can try and guess how the versus mode goes. Well, they don't make it easy for you. Wow. Well. And I fight the most devastating opponent I've ever faced. Myself. Come on, Senor Mirror Move. Let's see who's the better player. Jeez, Mirror Move, you're not doing so great. Oh, whoa, he's not doing so great. How is that possible, Exen? Okay, so you send lines to the other person as you break them. And apparently, if you do the same actions at the same time, player 1 gets precedence. It's not something that would ever happen to non-robot players, but it's something to know, I guess. And as we look into the background, we get some more nice Egyptian-themed sprite work. And again, let's try to invoke the damage roll. Nothing. I guess... yeah, I think the sync isn't quite good enough or something. I'm gonna be honest, I'm not entirely sure how Mirror Move lost that last time. Yeah, that's kind of weird. But anyway, yeah, you break blocks and send them to the opponent. And I mean, I guess that's kind of okay, but like, in a lot of other games, there's this sort of like cool mechanic where like actually sending garbage blocks to the other opponent is actually sort of a risk. Like, sort of Puyo Puyo, you can use garbage blocks to make massive combos. And in Super Puzzle Fighter 2 Turbo, it's actually especially damaging because, like, you're basically giving them ammunition to fight back with you with it. So, but then Tetris is like, all it does is just moves them up around, which, I mean, yeah, it's hurting them alright, but it's not really changing up their gameplay. They just have to not be so lame. So basically, you're just trying to play faster than the other person, which, I mean, I guess there's some amount of competitiveness skill, but it's like, it's kind of like saying two people are competing in track because they're both like running at the same time trying to beat the same record. It's not quite the same as when you've got a sport where it's like you're actually fighting against each other. It's like you versus him, and it's like, it's kind of that grudge match where everything you do directly impacts the other person. Rather than just arbitrary timer. I don't know, Tetris and multiplayer has always kind of confused me. Otherwise, no secret hidden modes or anything. Honestly, it's Tetris in the arcades. And I mean, I guess if like all you grew up on was like the Game Boy Tetris, you like get into an arcade, you see this, you'd probably, you know, excrement your pantaloons. This looks pretty awesome, at least 16-bit wise. Well, I mean, compared to like the 8-bit NES in a box. But yeah, that's Tetris. I mean, honestly, I don't know what you were expecting going into this, but I hope this was it. I mean, it is really cool that you've got, like, two people playing at the same time. That's pretty cool, but otherwise, yeah, basically exactly what you'd expect, but all the better for it. Well, I mean, there is, like, minor aspects, and, like, you can see the next few. There does not seem to be a hold of any kind, though, which, it depends on who you are as a person, whether you like the hold or not, but, yeah. That's Tetris Plus, although we do have some interesting bars going up. Not entirely sure what those will do, but I am fairly certain they're going to be bad when we, So is that like a level up? Oh. It just changes the background. It might increase the level. It stopped mattering. Does keep some nice stats as you go along. Is there any sort of cool game over screen? No?
Oh no.
You get the most impassioned
Game over.
"oh no" I've ever heard. Otherwise, no, it's just it. Oh man.
Tetris.
Yeah, 96. Yeah, about where I thought it would be. Although I do need to give give a little shout out to Jalico. They also made F1 Grand Prix Star Racer 2, which if you've not checked it out, unlike everyone else in the world, I think you should probably check it out, I guess. I mean, it seems to be a hit for some reason. Anyway, on that note, this cat's got a scat.